Hello everyone, this is Nora from ChemLinked. Today I'm going to teach you something about emissions trading system, or ETS. It is a market-based policy tool which is designed to curb the emission of planet-warming greenhouse gases, especially CO2, which is emitted by the burning of fossil fuels. Back in December 2017, China announced the initiative to launch a nationwide ETS market in the next couple of years, which would initially cover only China's power generation sector. This created a stir in the international community, as the market of power sector emissions would cover 3.3 billion tons of CO2 emission annually.
Hello, I have a question. How do you understand the scale of China's plan?
To help you understand the scale of China's plan, we can use the European Union scheme for comparison, which is the world's first and currently largest scheme of its kind. It now covers only 2 billion tons of CO2 emission annually. So, any other questions?
Since China has decided to adopt this approach to regulate carbon emissions, I'm wondering how it works in practice.
Simply put, ETS works based on a principle called cap and trade. For the cap part, the government will impose a cap on total emissions in the economy and then divide it into allowances, with each one allowing emission of 1 ton of CO2. Then the government will distribute the allowances into different businesses. For the trade part, if the businesses need more or less of the allowances, they can buy or sell them in the market. Ideally, this framework will force companies to innovate towards greener technologies. Since the ETS really took off when the EU introduced the cap-and-trade program in 2005, more and more countries globally are conceiving or implementing the scheme.
Then does ETS really work?
Statistically, the answer is a big yes. Let's take the EU ETS as an example. It is now in its third phase, and emissions from installations in the system are falling as intended by slightly over 8% compared to the beginning of the phase. But it is undeniable that ETS is still a subject of lively public debate, with some strongly endorsing it and some doubting its effectiveness. Let's go find some people, ask what they think of it.
For me, ETS is currently the most effective weapon against air pollution. With ETS, we can have more certainty the emissions will fall below the predetermined targets, as it involves a cap, right?
Oh, I think one of the biggest problems for ETS is that some large emitters will not change their polluting behaviors, as buying allowance will be cheaper than innovating towards a cleaner process.
Allocation of emission allowances may pose a huge challenge, and may lend itself to corrupt practices and government manipulation of permit allocation.
You cannot deny ETS is easier to put into practice compared with other environmental policies, especially compared with expensive direct regulation and unpopular carbon taxes.
ETS can better respond to economic fluctuations than other policy tools, as the price of emissions is set by the market in a more flexible manner.
You know what? The institution design of ETS can be very complicated, while that of a carbon tax is quite easy, especially on the basis of existing fuel taxes.
The pros and cons of ETS suggest that this system is indeed imperfect in some ways. More legislative and market efforts should be made to improve relevant institutional arrangements of ETS so that it can work as designed. Meanwhile, when discussing various policy tools targeting emissions, it's not always necessary to choose a one-size-fits-all solution. I've learned that the province Alberta in Canada uses a hybrid policy, under which largest carbon emitters are subject to a cap-and-trade system, while smaller ones must pay a carbon tax. Let's keep a close eye on the development of ETS in the future.